So now, energy. In thermodynamic analysis, it is often helpful to consider the various forms of the energy that make up the total energy of a system. And they are divided into the two main groups, as we have studied earlier also, the macroscopic and the microscopic. The macroscopic form of the energy are those that the system possesses as a whole with respect to some outside reference such as kinetic energy, potential energy. But the microscopic form of the energy are basically those that are related with the molecular structures, and they are termed as basically the internal energies of the system. So the total energy of a system consists of kinetic energy, potential energy and the internal energy, and it is expressed as E is equals to internal energy, kinetic energy half mv square plus potential energy mgz, and on a unit mass basis it will become smaller u v square over 2 plus gz. Now internal energy, it is very important. In case of first law of thermodynamics, internal energy is involved. So internal energy is defined as the energy associated with the random disordered motion of the molecules. It is separated in scale from the macroscopic order energy associated with the moving object. It refers to basically the invisible microscopic energy of the atoms and the molecules. It is the total heat contents of the body, that the total how much heat is contained within a system or within a boundary, and it is basically the sum of all the microscopic forms of the energy. It is basically called the eternal energy, and it is denoted by U. Now heat. The definition of the heat we have studied in the previous last two lectures also, but now we'll see the formula for the heat. Heat is defined as the form of energy that is transferred between two systems, like one is system and second one is surroundings, and that is only possible by the virtue of the temperature difference. So basically, in transfer of heat, the driving force is basically the temperature difference. If there is a temperature difference, then there will be the transfer of heat. If there is no temperature difference, heat stops to flow. So heat is basically an energy interaction that only takes place because of the temperature. Then it follows that there cannot be a heat transfer between two systems if the temperatures are same. The symbol that is used for the heat is Q. To indicate the rate of heat, we'll put a dot on it, that is Q dot. So the formula for heat transfer per unit time is basically Q dot, and for simply heat is equals to Q is equals to mc delta T. Here Q is equals to mc T2 minus T1. Q is heat, m is the mass, C is the specific heat capacity that is different for the different substances, and it is the fixed value, and there is basically a table that has been given for the specific heat of the different substances. T2 is the final temperature and T1 is basically the initial temperature. The units of heat are basically kilojoule, and if we take the heat, the rate of heat, that will becomes kilojoule per second. Now the numerical problem, this is a very simple numerical problem. Here you have 5 kilograms of the steel, that is basically the mass of the steel, having the specific capacity. C is basically 450 joule per SK. These are basically the units of heat capacity, and it is heated from 15 degrees Celsius, that is initial temperature, to the 100 degrees Celsius final temperature T. How much heat is required? How you calculate it? That is simply mc T2 minus T1. Here the mass is 5, C is 450 and T2 is 100 and T1 is 50. The value is 191.25 kilojoule. Now we have another numerical. A copper vessel of mass 2 kg contains 6 kilograms of water. If the initial temperature of the vessel plus water is 20 and the final is 90, how much heat is transferred to accomplish this change, assuming there is no heat loss? So this specific numerical, basically we have two substances, copper vessel and water inside it. So the total heat transfer would be equals to the heat transferred through the vessel and through the water that is contained in it. Now we'll calculate it one by one. The specific heat capacity of the copper is given in the numerical, or if it is not given in the numerical, the table would be given, from where you will choose the value of heat capacity. For copper, that capacity is 390 joule per kg into Kelvin. This is the value of heat capacity of copper. Now Q is equals to mc delta T. Here the mass of copper is 2 multiplied by C 390, and the temperature difference is 90 minus 20. Here the heat required by the copper vessel is 54,600 joules. Now for the water. For the water, the value of the heat capacity depends upon the temperature. From the table of appendix 4 that is given, water at 20 degrees Celsius having this much value 4181, and at 90 degrees 4204. Now the average of these two is, we will simply add these and divide it by 2 to have the average value, that is 4193.2. So the heat transfer required by the water is mass of water, that is 6, heat capacity multiplied by with the difference of temperature, it will becomes 1761144 joule. Now the net heat transferred by the vessel and the water, will simply add these two values, 54,600 plus 1761144. So the final answer is 1.815 megajoules. Now the next question. An iron casting of a mass 10 kg has the original temperature T1 is 200 degrees Celsius. If the caster loses the heat, that is important, during the process heat have been lost. So whatever the value is, it would be taken as negative, heat is being lost, that is 715. What is the final temperature? Here we are concerned and we are asked to basically calculate T2. The specific heat capacity of cast iron from the table is 500. So the heat transfer is equals to mc T2 minus T1. Here the heat transfer value is 715, as heat is lost, so that value is negative. So minus 715, as it is kilojoule, so multiplied with 10 raised to power 3, it will become 715 500, that is equals to mc T2 minus T1. Here the mass is 10, value of C is 500, T2 we have to calculate, and T1 is 200. So the value of temperature is 56.9 degrees Celsius. Now next question. A liquid has a mass of 4 kg. Mass is given. Its temperature is increased from 15 to 100. T1 and T2 are also given. Heat transfer into the liquid is 714 is required to accomplish the increase in temperature. Now the value of heat transfer required is also given. We have to determine the specific heat capacity C for the liquid. Now the heat transfer is equals to Q into mc delta T. So C is equals to Q divided by m into T2 minus T1. So the value of Q is 704 kilojoule. In joule it will become 714,000 divided by 4, that is mass T2 minus T1, and the value comes 2100 joule per kg into Kelvin, or 2.1 kilojoule per kg into Kelvin. So this is the answer of this specific problem. So this was all from today's lecture. Thank you so much.